Once, it was a library book about pie. Mel Gibson, American Gothic, and Widowhood, too. 424:18. From the Substack. Once, etc. About a month ago, at the end of a workday, I browsed through the New York Times and read an essay by the woman who currently lives in the American Gothic house. You know, this is that classic Midwestern farmhouse in stark white with the fancy window and the elderly couple with the pitchfork. That house. She talked about the perks of living in such an iconic and touristy home, and she also discussed the pie stand she runs out of the house for the visiting tourists. I enjoyed the essay, and in the brief bio at the end of the piece, I learned the author also published a book. Always on the lookout for something good to read, I quickly found it on interlibrary loan, and I reserved a copy. Tonight, while my father taught Parker to code on an old laptop in the other room, and after I kicked a soccer ball with Carter and his brothers for hours to earn my first sunburn of the year, I finished Beth M. Howard's book. It's a grieving widow book, the second one I've read, actually, but unlike the first, which was by the widowed daughter-in-law of Bernie Madoff and dealt with widowhood and crime, this book dealt with widowhood and pie. The author, Beth M. Howard, worked at a Malibu pie shop feeding stars like Robert Downey Jr. and Mel Gibson. She eventually married a successful German, traveled a lot, became widowed, and found peace through returning to pie baking. Not surprisingly, this motivated me to try my own hand at making pie, crust from scratch and all. On Sunday night, rummaging through my parents' kitchen on the eve of spring break, I baked my fourth pie as a surprise, even doing the whole lattice crust thing. My mother was duly impressed, and she even ate 3 slices, complimenting the flakiness of the crust. This was once, it was a library book about pie. Mel Gibson, American Gothic, and Widowhood too, as found on the Substack once, etc.